All right, guys, today we're going to be looking at module 2, and module 2 is going to be configuring Windows Server 2019. And can everybody see my screen? Good deal, good deal. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start the slideshow from the beginning. I'm going to move my toolbar here down here and move this down here so it gets it out of the way. All right, so here we go. Come on. Okay. After completing this module, you should be able to use Server Manager to monitor and manage Windows Server systems. Install and use Windows Admin Center to monitor and manage Windows Server systems. Configure server hardware devices and use a system file checker with SIG Verify to verify system files. Okay, after completing this module, you should be able to configure key Windows Server components with Control Panel and Device Manager, explain the purpose of configuration with Windows Registry, identify the components, features, and usage of Windows PowerShell, use Windows PowerShell to manage a server and create PowerShell scripts for system administration. So, working with a server manager, 1 of 10. Use a monitor and manage different Windows Server systems. Server Manager dashboard planes. You have a dashboard section at the top. You have a welcome to Server Manager pane, often hidden by administrators. Roles and server groups pane. Dashboard uses various colors and icons. Additional Server Manager panes, events, services, best practices, analyzer, performance, roles, and features. Now, what does that look like? All right, so we're going to stop sharing here. I'm going to open up my server that I've already got open, and then I'll share it with you. If it opens up, come on, there we go. Okay, and I'm going to share that with you guys. So let me make sure I can get to that screen. Here we go. All right, so what are they talking about? They're talking about this right here. They're talking about your local. Okay, so we got our dashboard. Okay, our dashboard tells us that we have a local server, we have all servers, we have file and storage services. Okay, so in here I have, of course, my service. I have one of my services that are not working properly in my local server. So this is what I go open up my server manager. And I open it up. Now, where did I get my server manager from? Let's go ahead and give you guys an idea where that came from. Let me see if I can get this to go. Okay, there we go. So my server manager, if I go into my start menu, I'm going to be going into here where it says Windows Server. So I click on that. Okay, and here's my server manager. Now I'm dealing with the local server. So local server, you have, of course, your main information, your properties, okay? Then you have your events, okay, your events. And then you have your services, your best practice analyzer, your performance, and your roles and features. Okay, that's what the slides we're talking about. All right, guys? We're all good so far? We all good? Thumbs up, yes, understood. We got a thumbs up, thumbs up. Did I lose anybody? Okay. Everybody understand? Kyle, yes, okay, good. Good, everybody's on the same page. Dennis, you got it, you understood that? Okay, super. All right, so let's go and stop share this, go back to our slides. Okay, I missed the chat. I'll get the chat questions later in a little bit, okay, guys? All right, where am I? From current slide. No, from present, yeah, from current slide. Okay, so, so in here, they got quite a few different things. They have DNS, they have file storage, there's DHCP, and this is our events. Okay, you got your events, your best practice analyzer, your performance, so everything we just shown you. Okay, server roles introduced starting in Windows 2012 have configuration tools built in the server manager interface. Examples, storage spaces. Some server roles have their own MMC tool for configuration. Starting an MMC tool, navigate to the server group role section within the navigation area and right-click the server in the server plane and choose the appropriate tool. Example, DHCP server roles. So let's see if we can do that. Let's go in here. Let's see if we can actually do a live deal here. Maybe we can do it live. I'm going to check and see. Okay, so server and roles. I'm going to look for DHCP. I don't see it at this point. I have PowerShell. Let me check all servers. And there's also features. Feature. Oh, I wonder where my DHCP went. That's interesting. Add roles and features. Okay. Next. Okay. Select server. Okay. Next. There we go. All right, so we're gonna look at DHCP. We're gonna do DHCP server, add the feature, continue. We're gonna add the DNS, add feature, continue. And what else did they say we want to do? Anybody remember what it said? What was the third one? Let me check real quick. Sports, okay. Let me go back to what I was doing. Okay, so stop sharing. Let me see if I can make this work. It's a PowerPoint. Or are we in our server? All right, so then I go here, I click next. All right, and click next. Okay, DHCP server, yes. DNS server, yes. Configuration, install. Okay, so now it's going to install my DHCP server tools, my DNS server tools. Don't know how long it's going to take. Being that it's a virtual, it shouldn't take that long. But we'll just see if everything starts moving pretty fast. It seems like it's going pretty quick. But you see how I installed those two things, everybody? Everybody get a chance to see that, how easy it was? And where I went to get it? And plus this recording will be out. So when you guys complete, when this class is over, if you guys need to review it, it will be available on recording. So I wouldn't worry about missing anything. But everybody saw how I added the DHCP server and the DNS server. Are we good on that as far as the basic part of getting it on there? Yes, no, maybe? Okay, good. I like that. Like some of you just participate with me. That's what I'm like. All right. So it says that the features are installed. Okay, so I'm gonna close this. All right, so now I have my DHCP and I have my DNS. All right. So I'm gonna go into my local server and I'm going to go into my roles and features. And it says to open up, I click on it. No, so what does it do? Double click or right click? Okay, let's go back into our deal here. Go back to our PowerPoint. Okay, so in basis of, let's go back one. Yeah, no. All right, so it says that navigate to a server group role, selection navigation area, right click on the server pane, choose your appropriate tool, examples, DHCP server role. Okay, so we're gonna look and see what that looks like. So they're saying to, working with server manager, it shows, let me get back up here. It shows configuring storage space within the server manager. So we've already done all that. I'm not really worried about that. Okay, then we have the next slide, server manager tools menu. Okay, so when we look at that, let's go ahead and tools manual. Okay, and then you have the right click menu for the server within the server manager. And then you got, you can look in here and and I'll show that live, but I'm just going through the slides right now, guys. Okay, and then we have adding roles and features using server manager. I just did show you how I did that. So I went in here, I did a live presentation of adding roles and features. Okay, I went in there, clicked on those two, and maybe I have to fix it, maybe group policy and change that and everything. So there's a few more things I gotta add in there, but and then you got using VPA to verify server roles. So best practice scan to verify the roles. And then, of course, the levels of severity and categories of best practice recommendations. Okay, so, and then we have server manager disadvantages. Needs to be connected to Windows Server system to run it. And you need to install our RSAT on a Windows 10 PC. So it's a little, working with an actual PC, it's a little different. But you're using we're using a virtual server, so you won't have to worry about that. Windows Admin Server Center, it's a relatively new tool. Remotely manages Windows Server 2019 using modern web browser, preferred if hosting a large number of remote Windows Server systems. Boasts a wide range of monitoring and management functionality. Download the desired version, preview or regular. Start the installer, navigate through several screens, click next each time, acceptance license, automatically update Windows Admin Center, promote function capabilities in different scenarios. Prompt and modify local computer trust host settings. Prompt on how to generate encryption certification and URL to access Admin Center displayed on final screen. Okay, so this is how you would go in there, ready to connect. PC. So complete installation of Windows Admin Center. We do have a project, so let's just do that here in a little bit. Using Windows Admin Center, use the first required login to valid credentials. Prompt to complete a quick tour. Place the connection screen on Windows Admin Center. Can manage server hosting and Windows Admin Center. Can add Windows Server 2012 and later system to edit tags. Many similarities to Server Manager, many tools within the navigation plane. Okay, so this is how it would look once we get it all up and running. All right, and some of the other stuff that's in there as well. Let's see if we can get that going here. Many types of hardware devices, plug and play. Operating system works with hardware devices and automatically detects the configured, recently installed hardware to work with operating systems. Simple plug and play device installation process, attach device, wait for Windows Server 29 to detect it, install appropriate device drivers. Adding hardware using control panel. Devices and printer utilities force the operating system to detect a new plug-and-play hardware, install on non-plug-and-play hardware, troubleshoot problems you might have existing hardware, start devices and printer utility from the control panel, two views, category view and classic view, sample test, add a device, display device, or troubleshoot device. Okay, this is your category view and control panel. Device manager allows all devices on the systems. Open device manager from control panel, device update device driver. Generic or unknown device requires update drivers and full functionality. Plug and play hardware resources must be considered to prevent conflicts. Interrupt request line, input output address, reserve memory range. Can check for resources conflict and examine other device properties. And device property box has 4 tabs to review. So I'll show you that when we get into the actual, go back into the server. Okay, and you have your generic plug and play. Verify file system files. System file signatures can become invalid, overwritten, corrupted, modified by malware. System file checker scans system files for integrity, replaces damaged or overwritten files with proper version. File signature verification tool. SIGVerif is scan-only tool that determines files have a signature. Output written log file called SIGVerif.txt. Configure Windows settings, configurable elements of operating systems, performance options, environmental variables, startup and recovery options, and power options. Configuring performance options, configuring processor scheduling and data execution prevention. Processor scheduling configures processor resources and allocate to a program. Data execution prevention monitors server programs for memory use issues. In the control panel, navigate to system, then security, then select system. Select advanced system settings, click settings in the performance section, highlight advanced tab or data execution prevention tab. And that's what this looks like. We'll do it live here in just a little bit. Configuring virtual memory. Virtual memory storage disk is expand capacity of physical memory used in paging techniques. Page moves from physical memory to a virtual memory on disk. Paging file, an area allocated for virtual memory. Location of paging file is important. Parameters used in determining paging file size, initial size, and maximum size. Configure initial size by multiplying the amount of installed RAM times 1.5. Configuring file caching. File caching turns on by default, speeds up time it takes to read from a write to a disk. Flushing, freeing memory use and cache data after written to a disk. Can turn off caching and flushing to easy hot swap a drive. Server can seem slower to users and may lose data during the hot swap while the server is in use. So I wouldn't recommend doing a hot swap while the server is in use. Environmental variables tell the operating system where to find certain programs and program-related information. System environment variables are defined by the operating system, applied to any user logged in the computer. User environment variables are defined on a per user basis, used to provide wide variety of different information. And this is how you will see it when we go in there and take a look at it. Startup and recovery, configuring it. You really don't want to mess with that unless there's a reason for it, and I'll go into and show you that as well. Power options can be set. You can select a power plan. You can choose the power button. You can create power plan, choose when to turn off the display. There's 3 power plans. There's balance, power saver, and high performance. And this is where you would look at the power configuration. I'll look at that here shortly. And of course, your window registry is very important. Your editor, or your window registry contents, you have your registry with a hierarchical in structure made of a keys, subkeys, and entries. Windows Server 2019 registry has 5 root keys. You may want to remember that. H key local machine, H key current user, HKey user, HKey classes root, and HKey current config. Very important. I would write that down somewhere. I would highlight it in your book. I would, wherever you want to do, I would remember that. Okay. Working with Windows PowerShell, supports MS-DOS, shell output redirection, excuse me, in the command chain. Most command runs with PowerShell will consist of CMD LETS. Pipping sends information between CMD LETS to build more complex commands or filter out display only desired output. Many CMD LTS options, what if, confirm, verbose, debug, and error action. PowerShell supports special navigation keys and key combinations. PowerShell features provide additional functionality or increase efficiency. Customizing window PowerShell sessions, change window PowerShell session look or how it is executed. Provide specific options to PowerShell commands. Creating a PowerShell console file that has a .pscl extension. Aliases and functions. Alias is a command shortcut that makes navigating and using window PowerShell easier, and functions can execute multiple CMD LETSs. PowerShell profile scripts. Alias and function commands place PowerShell profile script. Automatically executes every time window PowerShell started for the user. Makes first enable script execution before making the script. And edit the PowerShell profile using the command notepad $profile within the PowerShell. Modifying command output, pipe output recurse option, short dash object, group dash object, convert to HTML, comma, export to CSV. Working with PowerShell, 407 PowerShell objects has attributes, properties that describe the object, methods, things that object can do, and control nearly all aspects of Windows operating systems, processes, files, and network sockets. PowerShell provider plugins provide functionality within the Windows PowerShell, allows PowerShell to interact with other parts of the system, file system provider, default provider, many other providers, variable provider, environmental provider, alias provider, function provider, certificate provider, and registry provider. Many CMD LETS are supported. Okay, then we have a working with PowerShell 6 of 7. These are some of the CMD LTSs that it can be used with any PowerShell provider. You can see it tells you what they are, what the alias is, what the actual DOS command is. If you're using Unix or Linux, that is the command in itself, and then this is what it actually is telling you. So that's a nice little chart there, and that's in your book as well, guys. And it continues on to the next table. Okay, and then system administration commands. So PowerShell can be used for many tasks: post-installation tasks, view, install, and remove window roles and features. We're going to have probably a good practice on that. Configure and troubleshoot network and configure firewall settings, manage services and processes, perform remote administration of computers within domain environment. CMD LETS allows administrators to specify computer name for a task, can execute a PowerShell script on several computers within the domain. Using WMI within Power Window shells. WMI consumers, programs, and system software can be queried WMI infrastructure, collective component built into the operating system that responds to MWI queries. WMI's namespaces, WMI providers, and WMI classes, and I'll show you what that is. CIM v2 namespace, Common Information Model version 2. Queries, hardware and software components on systems, modifies software components, and real power of WMI within WMI classes administrators query and manipulate. PowerShell script, text file with a .ps1 extension executed with PowerShell. Commands execute from top to bottom and then it has contents, window commands, PowerShell, CMD, LETS, complex control structures, and can reuse window PowerShell code in different situations. I can go on and on PowerShell, guys, but let's just see what else we got here. And this is basically your PowerShell script or PowerShell setting. We'll get into that. Variables and constants store variable memories. And then of course we have our listings of different logical operators within Windows PowerShell. Let me go back one. So you got minus EQ, minus NE, minus IT, minus CT. So it tells you exactly how to deal with moving things around PowerScript shells. We'll get into that more as we go through live presentation. Okay, and then of course we're creating the scripts, and we'll be doing that with the book summary. We've already okay. Our summary is many tools help configuration process. We have server manager, add roles. We have best practices, verify roles, and server function configuration. Windows Admin Center provides remote web-based management. Devices and printer tools, device manager tool configures devices. Many performance options settings can be configured. Windows registry stores configurations used by Windows Server 2019. PowerShell console files and provide profile scripts ease administration. And that's it, guys. So I just went through all the slides. The book will probably be more in detail. But okay, so we're gonna go into, and let's go back into our server. And we go into our DHCP, okay. We right click on our DHCP, and we can go in and we can use our PowerShell. We can go and configure our NIC. We can go into our DCPH manager. So, what is DHCP? This is where your computer, your server is handling people. You get the scope. I mean, I'm not going to get into deep into this, but this allows you to have your IP addresses configured to different computers. Okay, and it automatically sends the IP address to your computers in your domain. So that's what the DHCP is for. All right, so we're going to back up and change, close that. Okay, then we have our DNS. Now our DNS is almost the same thing. Okay, if we go into our DNS manager, it may or may not have anything in here due to the fact that we have no computers connected to it. So that will allow you to control what your for your computers out there to connect maybe to the outside internet. So those are what they do there. Then you have your file and storage centers. And then here you have each one of these, if you notice, they all have Windows PowerShell. So keep that in mind. It may be on a quiz, it may be on a test. That those are, that every time you open this up, what does it say? Configure required for DHCP server. Okay, so let's see if we can go back and configure what's going on here. What do we got going on here? So we're going to look at this. Okay, this is working. All right, and we'll just go ahead and online. This is saying that available to be added. Okay, so, and again, this is all virtual. So you guys want to, it may not be interactive as it would if this was actually inside an actual network. Okay, so some of this stuff may not be working. So keep that in mind when you're doing these projects. But the projects that we're going to be looking at, let's go ahead and stop. Let me see what else I want to do. I want to go ahead and let's go into right click, start performance counters. Okay, and then we want to go into go to our best practices and see what we got when we go ahead and analyze. Okay, so let's see. Click to display, save searches. So far, there's nothing going on here. So let me see. Hold on. I want to. Okay, let's look at excluded complaint results, warnings. See. It appears that, okay, so start BPA scan. So I'm going to start the BPA scan and see what it comes up with. So it's going through all my tasks, all everything that I got going on in my server, for one reason or another. Okay, so here it gave me a bunch of stuff. Of course it would. It says that DNS is not set up and all that. So, but of course you're going to have DNS come up with that because due to the fact that we are not connected into other computers, not connected into a live network. But as you can see, it's telling me that there's certain things that I have to look into. It's like for here, this one, okay, it says best practices scan, determine that you are in compliance with the best practices. And in this one, it says that internet has dramatically signed internet protocols, IPv4 address, dynamic IP address. So it tells you some of the stuff that's going on in the computer. Okay, so some of this stuff, it says, okay, your best practice scan says you're in compliance. So all this information as a technician or as an administrator, you're going to be able to utilize this and see, okay, well, I'm in compliance, everything's working good. Maybe there's something here that I need to, like this warning here tells me that that my root hit server is not responding. Of course, it's not going to because I'm not in a live network. But if I was, I probably wouldn't have if I gotten that error, then I'd have to go into my NIC card or I'd have to go into my network and see what was wrong. Okay, so a lot of this information is happening, and this is all happening real time. Okay, and they got DHCP, says DSP best practice scan, determine that you are in compliance with the best practice. So it's saying that it's working properly. Okay, and so when you get a warning or information, that's a good sign. If you get a warning, and because I know why these warnings are coming up because I'm not on a live network, but if I was on a live network and I was actually, most of these DNS settings would not be shown up. Okay, so with that, we have our performance CPU. What's going on here? It's starting to tabulate our information. And these are the roles that are in the server now. We have a Windows Defender antivirus. We have a support. We have a DNS server. We have a DHCP server. We have a file and storage services, and we have file and storage services. So those are some of the things that are in this server at this point. We have we're using our Network 7 feature with the TCP ports. You have your network 4.7 framework. That's all how it has to do with just communicating with outside entities and some of the other stuff that's in there. So there's all kinds of stuff that you'll come across with your server manager. It's always great to have it. Some of the tools that you can come up with in here. You can do a disk cleanup. You can do, resource monitor, recovery drive, registry editor. Here's our registry editor. I talked about the five class keys. You have your class root. You have your current user. You have your local machine. You have your users, and you have your current config. Okay. As you can see, if I open this up, some of the stuff that's in here, it's all Chinese to everybody, which is fine, because if you're not if this course doesn't show us how to do anything in the registry, I just leave it alone. I mean, once we get into if there's a project that has to do with the registry, then we'll jump in it. But I leave the registry alone. You don't want to mess with that at all. Okay. You have let me see what else we got going on here. We can look at the PowerShell. Okay, so open that up. This is our PowerShell, actual PowerShell. And then we give commands to these PowerShells, and we'll be able to do a project in there. I think there's a project in there from the book that we can turn around and see the information. Let me see if this works. List. I'm not sure if it'll let me list anything. It won't. No, oh, there we go. It gave me an error. Okay, so some of the stuff that's in here, they give you the right commands. Of course, I can't see without my glasses. And it says that the term list is not recognized in the name of this SAMDLET function. Okay, so what do I have to use then? So check the spelling of the name. All right, so maybe list is not correct. Let's try LI and see what happens. Nope, it doesn't like LI either. So we'll have to go back into the different concept or different codes. Let's see, I think I remember seeing minus EQ. I remember seeing that one. See, it won't let me do that. Okay. Open. Let's see if it says open. No. Run. Let's see if it runs. No. Yeah, so we'll go into it and see what we got to do in that particular tool. What else we got here? We have, if you want to find your system information, there we go. It tells you that we have a 2019 data center evaluation. Okay, it's a virtual box. Okay, we got it's under legacy mode. This is how much RAM I'm using. Okay, let's see what else we got going on here. It's set up through Pacific Standard Time, which I should have done it Mountain. Hardware resources. Let's see if we can get in there and take a look at it. Okay, it's conflicts and sharing, DMA, force hardware, IO, IRQs. This is some of the stuff that they're talking about, where you can find it. It depends on what you're doing and what is required to catch this information. A lot of times it's more of troubleshooting when you receive this kind of information or try to look up this information. The IRQs, there may be something that's not working right. Memory, it tells you, what's going on, if it's okay, everything working good. And then we got components. So in here you have components. Get my glasses off here. In here you have components. You look at CD-ROM. You have sound devices, display, infrared, input, modem, network. Okay, so you got every way of checking this information. Okay, and then you have the different ports. We got serial ports. We have parallel ports. If there's in there, we have printing printers. Right now it's set up to print a PDF or do an XPS document. Okay, problem devices, base system device. Okay, USB port. If there was one, it'd be there. Software environment. Okay, so you're looking at software environment. You have system drivers. Okay, there's all our drivers in our system. Environmental variables. We talked about that in the slides. Different print jobs, if there is any. Network connections. Okay, Then we have running tasks, okay? We have loaded modules, services, program groups, okay? You have startup programs, what starts up and checks everything. You got your Windows error reporting. Okay, so that's it just shows you all that. Okay. And then we go into other tools. We can go into let's see. We can defrag our hard drive if we want to. We can go into local security policies. We can go into our resource monitor, which shows what our computer is actually doing, the disk space or time, the seconds between functions. We can look at the network and see how many megabytes per second is happening. We can go down here and look at our memory, how it's being utilized and where it's being utilized. And here you can break it down. You can open that up and see what programs are using what. Okay. And so this is very helpful when doing system managing project or tool. Let's see what else I got in here. System configuration. You have you can look at how to boot the system, some of the services that are there in this server, all the services, whether they stop or go, some of the tasks. If you wanted to you want to get into the registry real fast, you go there. Hold on a second, guys. Get out of there. Can't eat that. Ooh. Can't eat the cake. All right, and then so you can look at this right here, system properties, internet options, you have internet protocols, performance monitor, resource monitor, task manager, command prompt, okay, and also registry editor. These are real quick tasks that you can just click on. Come on. You're probably not open. Get out of there. No, you cannot have that. Dang cat. Okay. Sorry about that. All right, and then oh, I'm sorry, right here, his launch. So let's look real quick at let's go into how I'm sure what I was going to show you. Let's go to command prompt and launch it. Okay, here's our command prompt. We're going to do a quick, simple IP config to see where everything is at. Okay, so right now it tells me that I have subnets. There's my gateway. Okay, if I wanted to go into it deeper, IP config space \all, and then hit enter. Wrong one. I did it wrong. IP config space all. I think that's right. There we go. Okay. So in here, it tells me that I have, here's my gateway. And then here's my, my DHCP is on. Okay. My IPv4 address is available. My DNS server is right here. Okay. So I'm connected to a DNS server. And you know, so this is some of the stuff that you guys can do from your tool section. Okay, what else do we have in here? You can schedule a task in here if you want to. Some of the schedules, the schedule library. Okay, if you have something that you wanted to schedule, it is where you would start your schedule to create the basic text or create a task. And then display all running tasks. So you can go in here and see what actually is going on. And right now, these are some of the things that are already happening within the server that's already been created. And if you see that you're getting a problem with one of these, you would see, okay, what's going on? Has it started? Has it not started? You know, what's going on with that? And so that's a good way to find situations that may come up on a server. Of course, you got your disk cleanup. Okay, we're not going to do that, but that's where that's at. Let's see what else. Okay, so let's just stop sharing for a few minutes. Is everybody lost? Thumbs up. Oh, good. You are. Awesome. All right. No, okay. No, I mean, was the information that I just gave you pretty much what it had to do with the slides? Did you guys see that information? You able to grab that information? Good, good. Okay. We're gonna take a quick break. Back at 15 after. And again, all right. So guys, we're gonna be looking at let me share my screen here. One of the things that we're going to be doing is installing Windows Admin Center, okay? And so with that, I'm going to copy this, all right? And I'm going to go and stop sharing. I'm going to open up my URL. I'm going to do this within my own computer. Okay, so I'll go here, share. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I already copied it. I'm going to paste it in here. I'm going to click on it. Okay, and here I'm going to look for let me see, hold on. There we go, Windows Center. I don't know if that's going to give me the right one. There we go. Admin Center. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes, no, okay. Download Windows Admin Center. Click on that. It's going to give me a I'm going to add it to my desktop. Okay. Let that download. Always good to read the data sheet if it's available. Download it also, just to have it. Because it gives you something to look at when you're downloading. So it's going to have a reimage server management with Windows Admin Center. Tells you exactly what the task you can do with it. Some of the things that that when you use the Admin Center, how to get started. So it's just a quick synopsis of what it is. That's good to have, especially when you're downloading something that you're not familiar with. That would, something to think about. Okay, once I get this going here, you can, once you get it to where it's ready to download, you can either go to a folder. I don't know if you guys can see my folder where it's at. Can you guys see my folder? Yes, no?
No.
Let me stop sharing. Let's go back in here. There, now you see my folder. Yes? Okay, so I went back where I did it. I'm gonna double click on it. Of course, it wants me to remove my protection and then open. So it's gonna install. Okay, everybody see that? Can you see the installation?
You see your folder.
Just see my folder. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, Zoom is funny. It'll do stuff and then it'll stop. And okay, so here we go. You guys see this?
Yes.
Okay, so this is our Windows Admin Center. I'm gonna accept it. I'm gonna go next. Oops, it just closed up. I don't know why. So go back. Okay, so required diagnostic, required optical diagnostic data. I'm just gonna stay with that. Keeps dying on me. Wonder why. Wonder because it's because I have to share where I'm sharing it. There. Okay, next window. Yes, you want to do updates, click next. Oh, I see why. I see why, because every time I change it, it goes away and you have to share it again. Okay, well, that'll work. All right, so this is the next slide or next part of it. Enables you to manage computers directly from your PC using the web browser, and you're going to click next. Of course, that stop sharing, share. Okay, see where everybody's at here. Everybody see what I got going on? Okay, so select port Windows admin site. Well, let's go look at the book real quick and see if there's anything particular they want that to be set up as. Okay, so I'm in this. Let me go back over here. 1 second. I'm just looking to see what they want us to put it in 443. Okay, so I'm going to go back into my deal here and put 443. Okay, and then generate self. Okay, select port, generate self, automatically updates. All right, allows Windows your notified machine trusted. Okay, install. Requires a valid port number greater than 1023 to continue installation. Okay, so let's go 1643. What the heck? Install. All right, stop sharing. Go back and share again. All right, so it's starting to install. I don't know how long it's going to take. I think what it's saying, if you're on the server, you want to use port 443, but I'm using it outside the server, so I'm just installing it on my computer. That's why it asks for a higher deal. If we're going to install it into our server, we can if we want to, but you have to remove the internet. And I'll show you what I'm talking about because I ran into it while I was installing it on the server. So we're just gonna update this, copy new files. Okay. Back into version of okay.
Oh, my knee.
Okay, well, that's doing that. I'm going to, so our finished product, once it finishes downloading, will be this right here, okay? And then you can open the URL on browser on the PC or see what browser supported, okay? And then click finish. So once you click finish, using it, it'll let you go into the web browser, Chrome, for the first time, prompt login, valid credentials, gateway, Active Directory domain, which gateway server is joined. Follow this, prompt quick. Okay, so we'll go in there and once we get that going, we'll finish that. So let me see how far we are on our deal. Yeah, it's gonna take a little bit. Okay, so once that's done, we'll just follow the book right now. Okay, so we're in the book here. Okay, using tells us how to get to when we get to that spot, we're gonna go ahead and open it up. It's gonna give us this on our domain, okay? We're gonna check everything out, make sure that that's working. We're gonna be able to see our center and what's going on and what's set up, okay? And then we can go to the next page. It'll go over, we'll go open up our server itself. check and see what's in there, how it works, all that stuff, managing your server within the Windows admin, okay? And then you can restart or shut down or edit the computer name and domain membership, edit computer ID. There's all kinds of stuff you can check inside this manager, okay? So it's basically similar to what we saw on the server, but it's more, it's set up to be more versatile as far as, some of the stuff that's inside the server you can get to on a web-based apparatus, okay? Instead of being directly into the server. You have your plug and play mode, adding hardware using the control panel. We'll go into that. So there's our good old control panel. Using device manager, so we'll do that here in just a little bit. Let's see what else. Talking about different things. Looking at the device, if it's working or not. Verifying system files. Okay, we'll be able to do that here. A system file checker inside the CMD. Okay, we can actually go in there and see how to go about checking our files in there. We'll do that live. And then we'll run system file checker manually from the command prompt and see what how that goes in there. Configuring the Windows settings. We'll go in there and look at the performance. We already did. We already know how we can get in there. Processor scheduling. We'll go in there and check that out live and see background services with the virtual memory. Virtual memory, you can change your virtual memory, but it's not recommended. In all computers, you really don't want to unless you really have to. And so that's something that, you keep that turned on. It really makes a difference, when you're configuring, looking at files and so forth, configuring the virtual memory. We talked about that on the screens, on the slides. All right, so let me see where we're at on the deal here. Oh, good. All right, so let me just go in here and share my deal here. Okay, once we do this, it tells us that we have one more thing. The first time you open the Windows Admin Center, you'll have to select a certificate. Be sure to select the Windows Admin Center client, okay? So that's what they're telling us to do. And then we're going to open up and click finish. Of course, it stopped. Let me see where it's at now. If I go into my, okay, I'm going to open up my admin center for the first time. And it's not opening due to the fact that the site cannot be reached. Okay, I see. Let's see what I did there. All right, so I may have to reinstall it. Yep, I do. All right, so select certificate, let's continue. Okay, Windows Admin Center. Okay, we're good. We're good. All right, so let me go ahead and reassess what's going on. I'm going to go and share my screen. It popped up. I just wasn't sure that it was going to pop up in the right form. I was like, what in the world? Okay, so I successfully installed version 2211, my Azure stack, and read what's new. Okay, so I'm looking at it. Some of the improvements that it had and all that good stuff. Okay. All right, so then now I can close that. Okay, this is my PC. All right. And as I can see here, I can manage it. I can, and I can connect. If I'm connecting to it, if it was my server, I'd be able to go in there, but this is my PC. So in here, I'm looking at, my RAM, it digs into what my computer processor is doing. It'll give me all my numbers that I want, like, okay, so right now, I can see that I have 16 gigs of RAM installed. It's an HP. I have 8 logical processors, so there's all kinds of stuff that's in here, guys, that that you can see what's going on. And let's say I wanted to connect this from another source. Let's say I go online and I connect, and it's not connected to I'm not doing it with the laptop, I'm doing it elsewhere. Then I'd be able to jump in here and see the different devices that are available, that are out there. Okay. So I'm looking at, some of the stuff that's going on in inside my deal. I can check my firewall, see what's going on in my firewall. If I have anything that has had issues, I can check my network. Okay, my network, see what's going on in my network. So I'm trying to see if I wanted to open up. Let's see if it opens up my network. Hold on. There we go. Opens up my network, tells me that my internet 3 is up, and I've got my internet 2 for my actual remote system is up. If I wanted to go into my performance monitor, I can go in there and see that I'm what's going on with my performance. So far, there's nothing showing that needs to be recorded. If I go into my registry, I can see what's going on in there. There's my roots we were talking about, my different classes, my root, my user, my machine, okay, a local machine, users, and then current config, all right, users, local machine, okay, users, and class root. Okay, so there's all kinds of stuff that you can pick up on these. So it's updating information as I'm going through this. My overview, go back into the overview. It tells me that, that my Windows Defender application is not enforced. And this is my laptop. My CPU, how much I'm using, what my speed is, my processor. This all comes together as an application. Now, if we wanted to install it on our let me think here. If we wanted to install it on our server, okay, we would have to go in. Close this. Cancel. Yes, cancel. Cancel. Finish. Okay. So let me stop sharing. Okay, if we wanted to go into our server, install it in our server. Okay, share system. Go into our server. Share. And this is probably what you want to do. Is when you first open up, okay, you want to go in here, you're going to open up your Explorer, okay, and you're going to configure I would, because it's going to allow you to, trusted. It's going to cause a problem if you don't do the trust part of it first. So you want to make sure that you have. Let's see here. Hold on. It's managing Explorer. And click on the tools. Click on security tab. So let's see if we have the tools and the security tab. Security. No. Oh, okay. One more here. Dashboard. Go here. Okay. So yeah, 2001. I'm trying to manage competitive blue. Okay, so because if you don't do this ahead of time, you're going to end up going through a lot of, and I'll show you what it looks like. Let me see if it's in here. Security. Yeah, right now I'm gonna disable the protected mode, because if I don't, you're gonna have a hard time making this happen. So when you go in here, you're gonna look for, you're gonna control V, because I think I put it in here, but I'm not sure. Okay, it's gonna give you go Microsoft, Outlook, Microsoft. There you go. Okay. Then I believe I clicked like that. See, you're gonna have this come up. All right. So you're gonna have to add. I don't know how many it's gonna have to make you do, but and then close it, and hopefully you got another one. So you got to add. And I was trying to avoid this, but on the server sometimes you have to do this. You add, close. Not another one. Add, close. Come on, add, close. Yeah, okay. Add, close. Finally, nope, add, close, add, close. Come on. Add, close, add, close. Are you serious? Add, close, add, close. Good thing about this is once you do this one time, you don't have to do it again. So, and why there's so many is beyond me. Come on. God king. But you guys are getting real time information here, real time situations here. Okay, there we go. No more? No more. Okay. So then you want to control V, which you want to go ahead and do the we were trying to do the what was it again? The power admin, hold on. Let me find it. Windows Admin Center. Okay, so we're going to look into that. We'll go back into our virtual. We're going to go Windows Admin Center download. Okay, we're going to click on that. Hey, you gotta be kidding me. Come on. Windows Admin Center. You're gonna click OK. Okay. So what? It's just being a booger. Okay, so once we do that, we're going to download our Windows Admin Center, like we did on our computer, but we're going to do it on the server. I don't know what happened to it. Where'd it go? Anybody see it? It's not resource. All right, where'd it go? Oh, forgot. It's got to be added. Okay. So we're just waiting to see if it allows us to download. Try it again. There it is. My bar down here. Okay, we're gonna save it. And let it download. It wasn't too bad with the controls, making sure that because And on a server, you normally don't go to the internet on certain servers. So that security was there for a purpose, because a lot of times, you know, you don't know what you're actually getting at, you know, that you're going to be downloading or what you're going to be, you know, putting into the server. So a lot of times a lot of servers do not allow internet access. So by seeing this in real time, the controls and how it works, you see how well the security, it went through every single possible entry that is attached to the internet to be cleared. And normally, there, when you first install this, there's a way to remove that security. But I wanted to keep it on there because I wasn't sure if I was going to install this on the server or install it on my computer. But I'd rather have installed it, you know, on the server, because it does make sense. Now, one thing you have to understand, if we had an Active Directory on this server, okay, we could not install the Windows Admin Center. We'd have to, of course, install it elsewhere and then find a way to connect to our server through the IP address or whatever it tells you how to connect, and then give the credentials and all that stuff, so it would connect it remotely. But because we do not have an Active Directory on this server, it only has DNS and DHCP, we're allowed to install the Windows Admin Center. Does that make sense, everybody? I can't see you, so if anybody wants to say yes, that would be great. Unmute and say yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, so we're gonna install this like we did on my deal. I want to see, let me go in the book real quick and make sure that I'm on the right connection here, or right page. I want to make sure that we do the optical, or do we just do the other one? So let me go back and see what it tells me to do. Okay, hold on. In the book. Oh no, it's somewhere ahead. Okay, let me get back into what it means. Nope, we're gonna go back. Back to, okay, no, that's something else. Device manager, no, that's not what I want. Come. Let me see. Let's do extensions. Oh, cool, thank you. All right, so, where am I at? I am right here. So let me go ahead. We're still sharing. Let's go here. What the heck? We'll do optical and the other one. We'll just see how that works out. We're going to use recommended. Okay. And we're going to click next. All right. That looks good. Click next. Yep. Install. And we're just going to wait for it to install. I'm not sure if it will. We hope it does. Looks promising. Hope I didn't miss anything. Looks good, looks good. Oh, that's doing well. Wow. I like that. Yeah, I'm gonna go inside the actual server and see if I can show you guys how to remove that security on the internet. Because this is a virtual computer, so we can allow it. because nothing can hurt it. You know, it's a virtual. It's not going to. It's not going to affect your computer that you're using from home. So I'm gonna go in there and try to remove the security aspect of the internet. You don't have to go in and add all those separately like that. So once we're done with this, I'm gonna go and attempt to fix that with the security aspect and see if that a lot. First of all, see if it allows us to do it, and then we can go from there. So I'll check and see what tabs we have and what we can use and see if we can remove the security off this virtual server. But of course, it took a little while last time for the extracting of the portal site files. So we're gonna let that sit for a little bit. Go back in our book, or let's go back to our to our actual Windows server that I have set up on my my computer, because it's done installing some extensions. Okay, so now it's giving me more information. Okay, so now it's saying that I'm using 57% of my CPU. My memory is being utilized at 74%. Okay, my internet, my remote device that I use to connect is running at an 841 kilobytes per second. Okay, and then of course, if I was using my VirtualBox host only, it would give me a signal. My disk or my actual computer is reading and writing and transferring. So right now it's not doing, it does it, you know, whatever I'm doing, it's copying posted into my hard drive. And it's reading it about 767 kilobytes. Some of it's 2.2 megabytes per second. So it's constantly running my disk. Okay. Apps and features. I have on this computer, I have let me see here. It's going to take a while. Okay, so yes, no, 31st. All right, so I got too many of these in here. All right, so close that one, close that one. We're in this one. Let me see how our other guy is doing here. Stop. Let's see how our other guy is doing here. There we go. Okay, sure. All right, so we're still waiting on our buddy to still download the where's it now? Registering the whatever it is session configuration. So it's getting there. It's getting there, guys. Okay. Let me see while we're doing this, if I can figure out where, we're just gonna close that out. We're gonna figure out where manage, add roles, add servers, create server group, server manage properties. Let me see what I need to do here. Let's take a look at server manager properties. Okay. Oh no, that's not tools. Maybe have a security backup security. No, it does not. Okay, so let's see if I can. No, it's not. Let's go here. Let's go back to server manager at the beginning. Okay. Let's go to dashboard. It says I have some results in my DHCP. DHCP server should be at least one IP address. PD employment. Okay, not a problem. What does my other one say? DNS interface, Ethernet, this should not be configured to register the IP address. Okay, I have to fix that. I was working on that. My local server says in my download maps manager, MP map broker stopped. So if I want to, I can restart that service and then click OK. I have in all servers, I have a DNS interface, Ethernet DNS should be configured to a registered IP address. Okay, and because I'm not running it locally, that's why that happened, and it should be bound to at least one IP address. Okay, so it's not running the way it should. That's why I'm getting my errors. Okay, guys. But understand that it tells you exactly what you're not in best practices. It lets you know on your dashboard how to recommendations. Okay, and it says configuration required for DHCP server at the computer. Okay, so if I wanted to go back and complete it, I'd go in here, commit, okay, and then I would close. I'm not sure if that'll clear my deal. Okay, so feature installation, add roles and features. Okay, so I'm on that. I did that. I close that. Still trying to see if I can, what am I looking for here? It's not letting me, no, that's not right. Okay, so in my local server, we can see what's going on, the CPU, the different aspects of it, my roles and features, some of the thing right here. Okay, Ethernet. Trying to look for something in particular. 1 second, guys. IE, there it is. So I'm gonna turn that off. Okay, it's not recommended, but I'm gonna turn it off. So next time, so you guys, when you go on here, you turn that off. Okay, so when you open up your Internet Explorer and you go to let's say to Microsoft, you won't have to go through that process that I just did. Okay, with adding and closing. So that right there, by turning the IE security configuration off and clicking OK, it will allow you to go into your internet, okay, and allow you to make it happen. What's this? Why is this not coming up? What am I doing? Shoot. Okay. 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay, so these are some of the apps and features that were in my other deal here. Oops, wrong one. What was that? Apps and features right here. Share that. Okay, so these are some of my apps and features that I have on my computer. Okay. And so now we're going to see if we can continue the process of, no, not the PowerPoint, Windows Server. I think we're right here, I believe, but I can't get to it for some reason. Why? Oh, maybe that's there. Okay, so I'm trying to get in here, trying to restore it. Come on. Being difficult. Somehow I lost something here. I can't get it back. Hold on. Okay. Somehow I got lost. I don't know how, but I need to get back over here. Dang it. Yeah, of course. Well, that probably was our deal. We were going to install. Um, so let's go back here. Okay, so Windows, ending download. Let me check my downloads and see if it's in there. Downloads, downloads. There it is. So I'm just gonna install that again. So we lost the installation. I don't know how that happened. Maybe because I was moving around inside the deal itself. Because I really want to make sure this gets installed in this deal before we move on. So rule of thumb, when you're inside your virtual, don't go messing around with a bunch of stuff because you may lose your installation. So just keep that in mind. Okay, click on next. You're going to let's you change way features are installed. Let's just go to change real quick. Everything looks fine. We're gonna go back and just click change. So wherever it is, so we can just go back to where it was. Come on, come on, come on. Continue on, continue on. Okay, well, yeah, we already did that. Oh, let's go. There we go. Okay, we're back to where it was before. It may pick up where it was. It may, yeah, it may redo what it did, and then it may pick up where it left off. So let's see what happens here. As we watch this, just guys, imagine the Jeopardy music. All right. So now where is it? Where is it? Okay. Hmm. Come on. Why can't I reach this? Why isn't this working?
You cook something now?
No, sorry. Hmm. So I want. Let's try something. Okay. System admin center, visual road, evolution center. Okay, there we go. Just started for free. I already downloaded it. Okay. 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 Private website, website docs, community, image, let's see, let's try this. I've already done that. I already installed it. Okay, so Okay, guys, let's go ahead and take I'm gonna do some research here and then we'll get it going after a break. Take another 15-minute break. I'll see you guys at 20 after. All right, guys, I was doing a little bit of research, trying to see what was going on. More than likely, we're probably not gonna be able to install it onto our deal here, because according to this, it says the remote device resource won't accept the connection. I was trying to get on to the local host, and I think our local host might have been something else. I think it was 443. So I'm gonna try that and see if that brings it up. Site is not secured. I'm just gonna go in there and see if I can go to the site, see if it lets me, try different browser. Okay, I'm going here, I'm looking at the admin center. It's saying that, I'm trying to get in there. Maybe using a different browser might work. Okay, so now I'm here. Okay, how do we go back in here? What is it on the server? Okay. All right, Windows inside the releases. Okay, how much it cost? Okay. Oh, no. Okay. No. Show script feature. Plans. Okay. Which web browsers? Okay, we can go into. We can go into here and see. We might have to install Microsoft Edge on here due to the fact that I'm only having Explorer. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and download Microsoft Edge, run. We had to run into a couple things that may have caused us not able to get in there, but now that we know that it's 443 instead of what it's telling us to go into, we changed it to 443. We can actually get into the deal. So I'm going to install Microsoft Edge. Okay, so let me go ahead and share this with you guys. It just came up. All right, so I'm sharing this with you guys. Let me make sure that I'm recording. Okay, no, that's not it. Where's my recording? All right, we're still recording, so that's good. Okay, cool. All right, so we're installing Edge now into our server because it said that the browser works better with Edge instead of Internet Explorer. So I'm going to do that. And once we finish installing Edge, I'm going to try connecting back into our Windows Admin Center. So we're checking to see to make sure that we'll be able to use our independent or our web admin center. So I'm going to go ahead and install Edge. We'll let that continue. Any questions yet? Anything you guys have any questions on? You can unmute and ask.
So we're doing all that on our own,
As far as what?
just downloading the server. And all.
Yeah, you want to make sure that you have all that in place. So or else you won't be able to do your projects for this week.
Okay. What about the review questions at the end of the chapter? You still want those or not?
Yeah, I'll take those. You email those to me on a Word document. Okay, let's see how we're doing in our download. Okay, it's installing. So, there we go. Sure. All right, so it's installing now, Edge. So we're just gonna wait a few more minutes to let it install. Okay, once it's installed, we're gonna go back and let's see what it's doing here. Okay, no, I want to sign without data, continue without data. Okay, confirm and start browsing. All right, so I'm gonna go back in here. Come on, next. Finished. All right, once we're in there, we're gonna go back and put our local host, but we're gonna change it to 443. And then let's see what comes up. Yes, continue, advance. Continue. Okay, there's our server. All right, so we have just installed Windows Admin Center. There's our server. Okay, we're gonna open it up. We're connecting to it for the first time. Okay, there we go. In our server, as you can see here, it gives us all our particulars. Okay, takes a little bit to process. There we go. Okay, there's our server, some of the particulars on there, okay, how things are going. And you're gonna wanna have that information for your projects, okay? So make sure that you get that all in place. Again, this video is going to be processed into the Moodle site. So let me go back into our Moodle situation here. Hold on. Let me find my screen here to do that. Okay, so I'm right here. Extend extension. Okay. All right, so let's go back into our Moodle real quick before I let you guys go. All right, so you guys will have, according to this, log back in. Took too long. Okay, you're gonna have this is where you find your slides. Okay, guys, this is where you find your slides. And then you go to discussion forum 2. You're gonna read chapter 2, and your initial post is pros and cons of adding roles. Okay, you guys are gonna discuss that with among yourselves. Okay, and then your assignment will be project 2.1 on page 35, project 2.2 on page 137. So you go ahead and do all those projects, okay? And then you will, of course, put them in here. And I'll open up the time remaining. If I see that you guys haven't quite got it all done yet, I will open back up. I will leave it open, okay? So your labs, your PDF is gonna tell you. Let me see if I can share. 1 second. Okay, stop sharing. There's your labs right there. Okay, so you want us to jump in and do lab. Was it? Yeah, these are the projects. These are your labs. Okay. So it'll just tell you where to go and what to do on each project. Okay. So those are your projects for this week. And I may give you 2 weeks to do it. Okay, to complete it. If they're easy projects, I'll see that you guys are getting them done in good time, then we'll just leave it at a week. If I see that you guys have not yet entered any information, or maybe 1 or 2 of you have done labs, I'll turn around and open it up, for 2 weeks. We'll see how it goes. I'm not really too concerned, I'm concerned about you getting it done. I'm not concerned getting it done in a time period that we need to do. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay, so now that we have gotten our Windows Admin Center in our deal, okay? So you guys know, I'm just gonna close this out or minimize it. I think. Let me see if I can minimize it or close it out. I'll just close it out. Close that out. Okay, close this out. Close it out. Yes, close all tabs. Okay. So in here, what you want to do, so you don't have a problem with your internet, okay? You're gonna want to go here to your, make sure that you go here to your IE security configuration, and you click on this. Let me go back and share, guys, because you guys are not seeing it. My bad. Okay, so make sure that when you get in here, okay, you open up your server opens up real nice. You go into, you open here, you go to your server manager. Okay, open up your server manager. All right. And did I do it wrong? Yeah, I did. No, I did. Yeah, no, I did. Okay, you go to your local server. Okay, and you're gonna go ahead and scroll over. You're gonna see where it says enhanced security configuration. You guys are gonna have yours on. Okay, so you're gonna click on it. You're gonna make sure that it's off. Now, you normally wouldn't do that on a company server. Okay, but because I didn't want to go through I didn't want you guys going through all that security add. So you guys don't have to do that. You just go here and turn it off. So then when you open up and I would go ahead and open up your Microsoft Edge. I'd go ahead and download it first. Okay. Once you have your Microsoft Edge, I would go ahead and type in Windows Admin Center. Okay. Download, and I would click on that. And I would go right to it here. Okay. And I would just download it right from here, download it, and then it'll be automatically, when you finish configuring it, getting it all the way it shows you in the video, you'll be able to open it right away because you won't have to worry about reinstalling your browser. Okay. So what I recommend is when you first open up, you want to go to Edge, Edge download. Okay. And you're going to go window. Okay. And it's going to allow you to, you're already browsing in Microsoft, but if you're not, it's going to allow you to install it. Okay. You install it, and I would recommend installing that first over your Explorer. Okay. And once you do that, then you can, you go in here, of course, and you type in, Edge download, and it'll tell you to start downloading. Okay. Microsoft Edge. All right. And then you do that, and then that'll save you one step from having to, once you get your local host 443 link. Okay. Once you set that up, it's going to allow you to connect to your Microsoft Admin Center. All right, guys. Any questions? I'm sure you got a lot, but we can go over this again through the next week. But as far as projects, if you have any problems or issues with any of the projects, email me directly. I can help you guys with that. But everything, did I go too fast? Was I okay today?